What's going on, Nerd Nation? Welcome back to episode 34 of the Comic Book Nerd Nation. We've got the whole damn crew here this week. I'm Fox2. We got the Pirate.
Howdy ho, neighbors.
Topher.
Greetings, Earthlings.
And the whole effing Brian.
Still want to fly in a motherfucking spaceship.
Yeah. I like the hand is what really makes it.
Right.
You need the whole
and the sound effects.
Right, the sound effects. So
that's the sound that things make when they go through space.
Yeah.
Yes.
You can hear it, the sound waves, as they travel through the vacuum of space.
Yeah, okay.
Prove it.
Science. So we're going to do things just a little bit differently this week. Normally we talk about what we've been reading. We're not going to do that because there's a ton of news out and stuff that we are particularly excited about talking about, and we'll probably argue about some of it. We'll probably agree on a lot of it, and it should be pretty funny and interesting. So let's dive right in. I'm going to start. The first topic, okay, is that Thor is going to be a woman in Marvel. Everybody has seen this. We'll get into everybody's thoughts on it. I'm sure that some, if not all of you, have seen this floating around the internet. It's pretty funny. So follow me down this train of thought, and then we're going to go through and get your guys' opinions on this logic here, if you will. Okay, so Thor is a son of a king. Okay, so he's a prince. And Marvel owns Thor. And Disney owns Marvel. And if Thor is now a woman, does that make Thor a Disney princess? Brian clearly has something to say here.
I mean, you could argue the fact that Thor, it's not actually Thor that's becoming a woman. Like, he's not having a sex change. It's somebody else is picking up the hammer. Thor's just not worthy anymore.
Hammer. It's not the same hammer.
It is the same hammer.
It is.
I read somewhere saying that it was not Mjolnir, but it was a different hammer and everything.
I read the same thing too. Yeah.
Yeah. There was a solicitation picture for October, and it shows Thor. He's Has anybody read the Marvel Now's Thor?
No.
From #1.
The first two.
You know how it showed him in the past? He's wearing kind of like fur.
Yeah.
Like a Viking.
Like the boots
kind
with
of
the fur
attire.
With the axe.
With the apple
with
bottom
the axe.
jeans.
That
That's gonna be the new. That's gonna be Thor #1's new cover. It's gonna be Thor with the boots with the fur and the apple bottom jeans.
Oh, God. But yeah,
he had an axe that he actually, before he got Mjolnir, he had an axe that he used to kill a Celestial with.
Well, in Uncanny Avengers, he fought that past Thor fought Apocalypse, and because Apocalypse has celestial armor, he cut him with that axe. But there was a picture of Thor, and like, I think there's going to be 2 different Thor comics. I don't know off the top of my head. I couldn't find the picture beforehand. But I think this Thor comic he's like the unworthy Thor or something like that. So he's walking around with his axe and with like an armor on his arm and all like fur clothing. Like he was back in the Viking era, not the Go-Go era.
The boots with the fur.
Yeah, but you know, because that post is fucking hilarious, and whoever first created the idea of putting that post as Thor as a Disney princess, I'm going to say Thor is a Disney princess.
Oh yeah, hands down. Like, credit, hats off to whoever managed to put that line of thinking together, because I mean, in all honesty, it kind of makes sense. Like, Marvel is definitely now a branch of Disney, and if they make a prince a woman, do you make a Disney princess movie with Thor in it now?
Yeah.
Would you see that? Do you think okay, here's the question. Do you think that, I mean, comedy aside, do you think that that's why they're maybe thinking about doing this, is so that they can make an animated female Thor Disney type of movie, like an animated movie that is targeted directly at young girls that would otherwise be watching like The Little Mermaid, The Sleeping Beauty, Snow White, that kind of movie, but get them into comics at a younger age because there's so many outlets of, you know, potential revenue for Marvel or Disney rather in the comic industry on the Marvel side of things.
I think it's an interesting idea, and it's a funny little quip, but I don't think. I mean, I think if you start saying going down that road, then I think you're taking it too far. Basically, like the other thing to look at here is like I'm going to offer a counterpoint here and disagree on the Disney princess aspect because
real quick before you offer your counterpoint, I just want to point out that the cat that is laying behind you has zero fucks to give about everything that is going on.
None.
He's just totally fucking like does not care about any of it. All right, so anyway, it's not in your mind Thor is not a Disney princess. Why not?
Well, because the important thing to keep in mind here is that it's not going to be the Thor that we know, like
clearly
the guy
it has a
who
vagina.
was Thor. But right, they're not changing Thor into a woman. They're taking another character who is not the son of Odin, and they are giving them the powers of Thor and the title of Thor. But that does not mean that they automatically also become the daughter of a king. So how Thor might be a woman, but it's not a princess at that point.
Okay, but my question is why are they calling her Thor then? Because Thor is not necessarily his title. Thor is his name.
And that's my problem with this whole thing is I understand what they're trying to do here, you know, but Thor is not a title. It's not like Captain America that you can shift around to somebody else. It's not like Captain Marvel where you can, you know, shift it to somebody else,
Batman
or even an inherited, you know, not even like a title, but like an inherited costumed identity. You know, there have been other characters who have been known by the same name, even though they were different people and they changed gender.
Being one.
Just because someone else wears that costume, they become that person. But Thor is not a title. It's not the costumed identity. It's the dude's name. He's Thor, son of Odin. I mean, you almost can't say Thor without following it with son of Odin.
So if you turn into a piece of shit and I take your Beats headphones and your glasses and your Bearcats hat, do I get to be Topher, son of a bitch?
I mean, first off, you can dress like me, but you'd never be as awesome as me. And two, I'm pretty sure my mom has told you to stop referring to her as a bitch.
God. Okay.
So, I mean, Thor's not a title.
Mrs. Topher is a
name.
Yeah. Don't you talk about Mrs. Topher like that. Dorothy Manthe is a saint.
It's his name, and I don't see how you can
just transfer it from one person to another.
The reasoning that they're wanting to do this is, they're trying to basically de-sausage fest their comics, and make them more approachable, for women readers, and I fully support that goal, and I like that they're doing stuff like this, but they made a big point of saying, that this isn't Thorette, this isn't Thorina, this isn't Thor Girl, it's not Thor, some
Thor.
modified version of she Thor. It's not any of those. She's Thor, just Thor. It's not like a female version of it. She is Thor. And I'm like, okay, that works if you've got a character who's, she is Captain America. She's not She-Captain. She's not, that works if it's a title. But it's the dude's name.
Yeah.
So
maybe it's her name.
Who does Thor become now? Is Thor still named Thor?
Yeah,
like,
maybe
do they give him a different name?
There's a shit ton of Johns.
But that's true.
There's
but
not very many women named John, though.
But
yeah,
if
but
there
everybody,
I do know a John.
If there are two Thors though, and she's simply taking his name, then it's not an identity of her own, and they're still marginalizing women in the exact way that they were trying not to. If you give her a guy's name, and let the guy keep the name, then it's an inherited thing, and it's not her own identity. And that's exactly what they're trying to tout that they're not doing. I don't get that.
Does this have anything to do with the original sin branch off of the 10th realm, where Loki and Thor have a sister?
They haven't said
I don't think
yet.
it's the same person.
Okay.
They've said that it's going to be an existing character that Thor readers will be familiar with, and will know who that person is when they finally announce
It's
it.
Natalie Portman.
Jane Foster.
It's Natalie Portman.
But they also said that they want to throw some misdirection around for a while and make you think it's a few different people before they actually reveal it.
Everybody.
Now, the promo art I saw shows her as blonde.
Yeah.
Now the woman you're referring to as the sister of Thor and Loki is Angela.
Has like red hair.
And she has red hair, and I don't think they're going to go that route with it. But technically, Angela, now that they've announced her as the sister of Thor and Loki, that means she's the daughter of Odin, and she is a Disney princess.
Nice. Okay, wait. Did anybody else here read the Thor and Loki 10th Realm original
Sin? Not yet.
Sin?
But
it's terrible.
It's terrible.
I heard it was not. I heard it wasn't great.
I hated it, and I actually, I know we weren't going to talk about what we were reading, but I just want to just kind of reply to what Brian, what you said about Iron Man Hulk original sin, that you didn't like it at all. I'm starting to like it. I read the first two, and
I haven't run the second one yet.
It's weird, but it's a good read, though. You know what I mean? Like I still don't really care for the idea of manipulating with the
time, the history.
Yeah, but the way that they're doing it, they're really tap dancing around it so that it's all stuff that kind of happened in the background. So it could have happened that way. You know what I mean? So it's not bad. I would recommend reading the second one for sure, and also Savage Hulk for Topher. But anyway, back to
I read
Thor.
What Topher was just saying. Some people have the idea it's Angela, but if they released a image a couple of days after they released female Thor, and they released it of the Avengers Now roster, and Angela and female Thor are on it.
Right.
So they're definitely not the same person.
So it's definitely not her.
Yeah.
Pirate, you got any thoughts on?
I think it looks the most like Valkyrie.
I think it's Valkyrie or Jane Foster. Because remember, they change.
I think it's gonna
Donald
be Jane
Blake
Foster.
was a skinny. Donald Blake was a skinny guy
surgeon
with a walking problem.
Yeah.
And he just got big and buff and looked like Thor. Now that's weird too, because every time they depict Thor, younger Thor, he still looks like Thor. So does that mean the person who wields the hammer has to change into Thor? Like, I don't get how a female's gonna change into Thor, or I don't understand it. It's almost like they're giving him a sex change.
I don't know what I mean.
I wish they had given him a sex change, honestly. I think it would have been a cooler concept. I think it would have done more for the whole gender thing that they're trying to do, the whole, more representation by females in important roles in comics. And had they taken Thor and then, suddenly he changes into a woman, it takes the appearance of a mortal female on Earth, along with some kind of explanation of, how Asgardian genders are not directly analogous to those of Midgard, and it's kind of fuzzy, and him appearing as an Earth male or female is no more right or wrong than the other. And I think that would have been a way cooler route to go, and then you can actually say that, hey, look, this character has in a way been female all along, rather than say, yeah, we know that it's been male all this time, but now we're just going to make it female and bring in a new character and have it be completely arbitrary and act like it carries the same weight as 60 years of comics history.
Right.
Well, there's already been an Asgardian that took the female form from male.
Yeah, Loki's done it too.
Yeah. Loki, when they came back after Thor and the Asgardians were dead for a little bit after Ragnarok.
Yeah, but you can't really consider him a full-blown Asgardian either, you know, I mean, with his...
True, but he's still like one of those god characters.
Yeah, I'll give you that. All right, Pirate, I feel like you've been real quiet. You said you're giving up on Marvel Comics.
I've just given up on Marvel altogether. I don't know.
I have to agree with him on that too.
I think so too.
They can do anything now at this point, and I just don't care. I'll listen to you guys talk about it, and then I just won't read it.
Are you reading original? Are you reading Original Sin?
I gave up on it.
It's not that good. I'm really surprised.
Yeah.
I was looking to Original Sin to be like the kind of like answer to Forever Evil, which was Forever Evil was incredible in my opinion from DC. Like I have first prints of all the comics, almost all of the tie-ins. I'll probably still buy the trade paperback just to have it to be able to read it whenever I want because it was that good. But I've been really let down with Original Sin. It has been
shit.
It's just too muddied. There's way too many characters.
I don't get the story. I don't understand.
I mean, are you up to date with it?
Yeah.
Like I mean,
I'm not current on it, so I can't I can't weigh in here and defend my my favored big two company here. But I mean, like by the same token, it's one event.
Yeah,
like you said yourself that Trinity War wasn't that great.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's true. That's true.
So it's one event. Like you can't. I've read a lot of good Marvel comics lately, and I still think they're doing. And I would still rather read just about any Marvel title over most of the stuff that DC's pushing.
There's definitely Marvel stuff that I'm really enjoying. The Savage Hulk series that's out right now. I love it, but just as a whole, I'm finding a lot more DC books to be a lot more entertaining. You know, I'll always buy the Hulk stuff. I'll always buy the Hulk stuff just to collect it, just to have it, and I'll read it. But overall, man, the DC their stories have been kicking ass. I don't know.
I mean, Forever Evil was decent. I liked it, but you know, you say that one bad Marvel crossover has like turned everybody off to Marvel, and they're like, I'm done with these. I'm done with this company. Blah blah blah.
It wasn't that.
I'm just saying.
I'm done with it just because I they're in news alone. They're getting rid of Captain America. They're getting Thor's becoming a woman, and Original Sin sucks.
And Tony Stark's going to be an asshole, a bigger asshole than ever now.
And that's pretty hard to do. That's a pretty big feat.
That's pretty hard to do.
That is a pretty.
What you're missing here, and what I think is they're doing here is they're putting the big three out of commission. They're taking Cap, Iron Man, and Thor here, and they're putting them to the sidelines so that they can all have a triumphant return next spring when Avengers 2 comes out.
That's true.
So that it could be a publicity stunt for the movie.
Yeah,
it's a promotional thing.
Oh, it's absolutely promo thing. I think that's a big part of why they're killing off Wolverine right now, so they can push some of their B, C, and D tier superheroes.
The other thing that they did, I didn't like. I'm not
liking. To promote like the Guardians of the Galaxy movie, for example. That movie's going to do really well at the box office for sure.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to do very, very well. And with the following that's already behind that movie prior to release, you know, it's almost guaranteed that Marvel is going to try and follow up with some kind of other D level, you know, B, you know, C level story, you know, some other comic that, you know, that you would not expect to see. That's not the, like you said, the Iron Man, the Captain America, the ones that are given. Like, yes, obviously, like we're gonna have Captain America, we're gonna have Hulk, we're gonna have Iron Man, we're gonna have, you know, all those Avengers. I think we're gonna do some side stuff.
I think it's great. You know, the Guardians of the Galaxy haven't really been a thing until the last 10 years of comics. Like this
Yeah.
this group of Guardians
This will
of the
put them on
Galaxy.
the map. This will put them on the map
And
for sure.
they're already. I mean, they're already on the map. I mean, they're pushing them. The movie hasn't even come out yet, and I mean, I'm already a victim. Yesterday, I picked up 2 variant covers of X-Men with awesome.
Oh yeah, the Hulk.
Galaxy
I think
because-
it's Hulk
because I
250.
thought they were.
Incredible
I really
Hulk
like it.
251. I think it is skyrocketed in value. It's the first appearance of Rocket Raccoon. Is almost doubled in value.
But I think it's awesome that they're taking a relatively newer team and newer people that didn't mean anything 10 years ago, and now they're one of Marvel's hottest properties. I mean, like, I don't see a team in DC that's been able to do that. You know, to get anything new, they had to throw out continuity and do a whole freaking reboot, which to me is the cheapest route out ever.
It's working
So, like,
though. It's the
everything
cheapest
you're
work,
saying about-
but man, it's working.
I mean, there's been some okay stories, but I disagree. I still hate the reboot thing. I hate it.
Yeah,
Like,
I get it. I get where people
Reboot.
they've started over some continuities, but still, the only DC shit I read is Batman, and they didn't get rid of his continuity. Like the other stuff, I'm not interested. I don't give a shit. Like, you rebooted it, great. Now you threw out all the history I don't care about. I still don't want to read it.
Right.
I don't care.
So okay, so we're on
Do
the topic
something new.
We're on the topic of Marvel properties, quote unquote. This is kind of a fringe territory, but the Fox, correct me if I'm wrong, Fox properties of Fantastic Four. There was some news relatively recently about this. Brian, you can probably fill us in better. Wasn't it something to do with, like, they're saying that, like, Fantastic Four, like, the storyline has absolutely nothing to do with anything with the comics or something?
Yeah, I don't know, something like that. Like, they were reporting that the chick playing Mrs. Fantastic, Sue Storm, like, she's like, I didn't read anything after getting the role to look up on my character.
What?
Yeah, I sent you guys that link the other day.
Yeah, and
she said... They interviewed her, and she said, I had never read a comic prior to landing this role, and then I was going to read some, but the director actually told me not to, so I'm taking his advice. And they were like, why did he tell you not to? And she was like, well, because he said that they're not using any existing storyline to adapt into the story for this movie, so she didn't need to know the stories. And it's like, okay, but you still need to know who the fucking character is and how the character would act. But whatever.
So this is, correct me if I'm wrong, I really don't care for Fantastic Four. I understand that it is an incredibly important and valuable piece of comic book history. It was a very pivotal point in the history of comic books when Fantastic Four, came into existence. That was a big moment. I'm just not a follower of it, but this is a movie, right? This is a...
Yeah. I mean, you're not alone in that. I mean, they canceled the Fantastic Four book, not too long ago because readership just isn't there. Like, as classic as it is, that's all it ever seems to be, is a classic. Like, you respect it for, being the pioneer and, and starting a whole bunch of stuff, yet it's writers of both comics and movies have been at a loss to figure out how to make it relevant and capture the essence of what they were back then and make it approachable in modern times.
So do you think that Fox is just making this movie just solely for the to keep the rights? Because I read at one point that the way that the contracts for some of those things, like specifically Fantastic Four, the way that the contract is written is that they, like, once every, I think, 10 years or something like that, they have to make a serious attempt, and it's roughly written like this in the contract, but, like, they have to make a serious attempt at a nationwide released movie. Meaning it has, there's an X number of theaters, or percentage of theaters nationwide or cities nationwide that it has to be released in, and they have to spend, it used to be at least $1 million. That's why, if you recall, Fantastic Four, one of our Friday fails that was really popular that Pirate posted to our Facebook page was the old Fantastic Four from what year was that, Pirate? Do you remember?
I think it was it 94?
90. Okay, we'll say 90s. Sometime in the 90s. Okay, so early to mid 90s, the Fantastic Four. So basically what happened is this company owned it, and they were like, well, we don't want to sacrifice the rights back to Marvel. So we're gonna put in exactly $1 million. That's all we're gonna put into this fucking movie. And they made the movie shit. I mean, I think it was actually less than $1 million. I think it was like $100,000 or something like that. But they put it, and it was shit. And then basically what happened was they ended up making money off that movie by selling the movie to Marvel to keep it from being released worldwide. So Marvel was like, no, we don't want this released. Like, this is bad for the image of Fantastic Four, like even for the comics. So they then purchased the movie from, I forget what the name of the company, I want to say it was like a Japanese company that had the rights to it. And
I don't even know if it was a company. It was a producer named Roger Corman.
Was it? Okay, maybe
a shitty one. And yeah, I don't know that he ever even intended to release it.
No,
there was it straight to Marvel.
Yeah, no, there was a company behind him. They brought Corman in to do it because he would do it for like almost nothing. And that was where they got how he got on board. But I wish I could remember the name of the company now. But yeah, it makes you wonder going into this next Fantastic Four movie, especially in this day and age where comic book movies, comic book TV shows are fucking wildly profitable right now. Like, that is the fucking gold mine. The biggest box office hits and some of the biggest ratings on TV, the biggest ratings. Walking Dead is a comic book show. You know what I'm saying? Like, that is probably the single most popular television show on television right now. Bar none. So why wouldn't you put a serious effort into doing the Fantastic Four in a way that it was popular and profitable? Because
Fox sucks.
The masses are primed for it. You know what I'm saying? Well, you can't say Fox sucks. I mean, what about Spider-Man 2? Like, there was shit that I didn't like, but all in all, that was not a terrible movie.
Sony.
I know this is.
Oh, that's right.
I know
that
this is going to come. I know this is going to come as a complete shock to you, but I'm going to disagree with everything you just said.
Yeah. Okay.
First off, I'm pretty sure
Game of Thrones. Before you go, I want to get Pirates. Hang on. Before you get into it, I want to get Pirates' thought on this, because this motherfucker has only said like 6 words in the last 30 minutes.
I ain't had every time I try to say something, Topher fucking goes on a rant.
That's all right. This is gonna be a rant-filled podcast. So the floor is yours, my friend.
Oh, fuck. I mean, it's the same thing Sony does with Spider-Man. They just keep the shit and, you know.
But I would say, wouldn't you think that the Spider-Man now is better? I mean, do you think the new series of Spider-Man?
Yeah, but it could have went either way, though. It could have been bad, and Sony would still own it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true, I guess. But do you think they're putting more effort into the new ones than they did into the Tobey Maguire series?
No, I think they legitimately tried to make good movies with the first 3 Spider-Man. It just fell apart somewhere around the second one. I don't know.
I've ever even seen the one with Venom in it.
I don't remember if that was the second.
It doesn't even matter.
That's the third one.
Yeah, I don't even think I've ever seen
only like the last 10 minutes.
But I mean, with Fantastic Four, like it's obvious that they're not going off comic book, because I mean, just from the photos alone, unless Mrs. Fantastic and the Human Torch, not Johnny Blaze, that's
Ghost Rider.
That's Ghost Rider. Well,
Johnny Storm.
Johnny Storm, yeah.
Johnny Storm, yeah.
They cast a black dude for that, didn't they?
Exactly. So it's like, how are they related? I mean, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the Fantastic Four franchise at all to begin with, and then you throw a movie that's gonna be shit and not relevant to the comics is.
Okay. Topher?
I find it funny that before Topher goes on his rant.
Everybody's
find it funny that-
everybody's trying to get their talk in before Topher
I find it funny that
Go
Marvel
ahead. That just means I can talk without being interrupted for the rest of
That's
the
what you think, motherfucker.
We can't even interrupt you successfully because you just still drowned us out. We're like, fuck it.
I find it funny that Marvel has ended both their Fantastic Four books, Fantastic Four and Ultimate Fantastic Four, when all this movie stuff started to buzz around.
And they left them off of the Omni. What's it? Fuck. What's it called? The 100 years of Marvel. The shit. You guys know what I'm talking about? It's like a compendium of all the key issues of different comics from Marvel that's going to come out for their 100 or 150 anniversary or whatever.
Oh, all those single issues that are coming out?
No, it's like a bound. It's going to be a bound book.
100 years of Marvel, 150 year. What? I'm confused. They haven't been around that long.
How long have they been around? They've been around for almost 100 years, right?
No, well, it depends. For the 100-year thing, they're using the fact that they used to be that their parent company used to be Timely Comics, which existed way back when, not doing it. But Marvel itself as a name and a trademark hasn't existed that long.
Omnibus, that's what it is. Marvel Omnibus 2014. It's going to be a line of comic book collections published by Marvel Comics.
And where did you see that it's not going to include Fantastic Four?
On the cover. They took them off of the cover. It was 75th anniversary. I'm sorry. It's 75th anniversary. Marvel's massive 75th anniversary. You get to submit your all-time favorite Marvel stories to be added to our huge Marvel 75th anniversary omnibus. That's probably going to cost fucking $400. But
speaking of costly shit, did you guys see the new Batman that's coming out in November? Not the new Batman, but the TV show.
Oh, the Batman 66 TV show?
Oh, $190.
Jesus.
How many seasons?
Fuck me. For 3 seasons.
3 seasons, and how many episodes per season?
120 episodes total.
120 episodes.
$190.
On Blu-ray or on DVD?
Blu-ray. I don't even think it's going to DVD. I didn't see a DVD option.
It'll go to if it goes to Blu-ray, it'll go to DVD for sure.
Yeah, but it was flat out the only pre-order option.
$190.
$190.
I don't think I've spent that on any collection. I have the complete 8 Blu-ray set of the Harry Potter movies.
Isn't that cute?
That I spent I think that was $120. Dude, say what you want. Those movies are fucking awesome. Those movies were groundbreaking when they came out, for sure.
I don't know about groundbreaking, but I liked them.
Beating off to Hermione from the beginning.
Shit.
Speaking of which, have you guys seen Noah? Hermione's in that, and I was like, "Who does this?"
A bunch of those people are fucking in a bunch of movies now.
Well, Daniel Radcliffe has a new one called Horned or something, or Horns.
Anyway, let's. I'm going to steer this conversation. I'm going to steer it back on topic, and let's talk about. So we talked about Thor, and then we got clearly.
Wait, we didn't hear Topher go off about Fantastic Four.
That's right. Okay,
let's.
All right.
FYI, this is why I go on rants when I do, because if I don't talk and I actually wait for you to give me the turn you said you were going to give me, you move on and talk about something else.
It's because you're so low on my totem pole of importance that I just don't care.
Mm-hmm. I was just going to sit here and be silent for the rest of the podcast and see how long it took you to notice, but
probably
you ruined
wouldn't
your chance
have.
now. Exactly.
If Brian hadn't said something, you'd have just been sitting there like fucking Eeyore in your corner for the rest of the.
Okay. Talk about comics.
I love Marvel.
Yeah, right. I love it.
They can't do any wrong.
I never said they can't do any wrong. I'm just saying that giving up on them completely is stupid.
I want Shadowcat to phase through my pants.
What? Where the fuck did that go from? How did you go from fucking Eeyore to some kind of pervy middle-aged fucking southwestern male talking about Shadowcat in his pants? Brian, I honestly don't know how you justify that, but this could end up being one of the funniest fucking podcasts we've ever done. I just throw that out. Topher, go ahead and talk. Just start talking.
God, I'm trying to remember what the hell I was gonna say now.
Best of luck with that.
No, I don't think they're just doing a movie simply to hold on to the property and revert the license from going back to Marvel. Like they're clearly trying to capitalize on how well comic book movies have been doing at the box office lately.
But it's been 10 years since the last attempt, and that's how long the contract is.
Has it really been 10 years since they made a shitty Fantastic Four movie?
No, because they
First off, 94 was 20 years ago.
That's right, 20 years ago. And then
Way to math there.
Fuck you. And then there was
2007. Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer was released in 2007.
Still it's coming up on 10 years.
Well, okay.
Right? Am I right? I mean,
if they had done it 3 years later, you would have said, well, still.
No, 7 is definitely better than 50% of 10.
All right, man.
It's closer
Anyway,
to 10
so
than it is to 0.
It is, but that doesn't mean that they're scrambling at the last second to fucking put something together, just to hold on to a license. Like,
quick, we need a Fantastic Four movie now.
Completely unfounded. We've only got 3 years. Yeah, no,
they got it marked on the fucking calendars and shit. Reminders pop up on their phone.
Yeah. They got reminders set in Outlook like, better day. Fucking do that fucking
Outlook
Fantastic Four
throughout
movie.
The whole building and shit.
Like, shit,
we only got 794 more days till we get a Fantastic Four.
We gotta get a Fantastic Four movie out. Somebody get the Sony Handycam.
I got an idea. They're all midgets. They're all midgets.
Somebody get the Sony Handycam and the GoPro, and we're gonna film a fucking Fantastic Four.
Silver Surfer is just a surfboard that's silver and floats and talks.
Topher, go ahead, continue.
Galactus is a giant cloud.
You thought you were gonna be able to do this?
It's like a cloud.
It's like a giant.
We'll store Galactus
cloud.
in the cloud.
All right, fucking Topher, you thought you were gonna be able to do this without being interrupted, but clearly that's not happening. Go ahead.
I knew better. It was more like wishful thinking, or at least pointing out the fact that you never let me do that. So,
what if they did it with Deadpool and Fantastic? No.
We've been sitting here commenting.
Interrupt them again.
That would be awesome, and technically they could because Deadpool is Fox too. But we've even been sitting here commenting on how terrible everything that people have done with Fantastic Four has gone. Galactus is a cloud. Let's make a shitty movie and sell it directly to Marvel instead of releasing it.
Oh my god! What is that Brian has? Is that supposed to be Galactus? Oh, that
was creepy.
That is.
I thought it was the Watcher, dude.
That looks like fucking the Watcher and Silver Surfer had a butt baby, and that's what.
I thought it was like some sort of like Roswell mask or something.
That is fucking weird.
All right, let him go.
I got the camera to shoot our Fantastic Four movie with.
We just need to buy some old Fantastic Four action figures and just pose them.
Here, we'll use this as the camera mount too.
We'll use the fucking GoPro.
Special effects
to film our Batman ice skating event. Oh, Brian hasn't even heard about this. Brian,
wait, Batman ice skating event?
Okay, so this is
Do I
happening.
need to lace up my skates?
So last week,
I give up.
Yeah, Topher. We'll get back to you. All right, go Topher. You go first, and then we'll hit the Batman skating thing.
And you wonder why I talk over you when I can, when I have the chance. No, I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think they're trying to do well with it. I think they'd be silly not to. I think that they see that there's a market for more comic book movies right now, that people just keep buying that shit. So, why not make one? And the better it is, the better it's going to do, and the better they're going to be able to do future installments of it. So I think they're trying to do well with it. And yes, they're making a lot of changes. Yes, they're not using a story from the comics, but I don't necessarily agree with that, but I can understand why they might want to, because every other attempt to do a storyline about the Fantastic Four in recent history has failed miserably. So why not shake it up a little bit? Why not try and do something different with it and see if they can make a success with something with a slightly different formula. So I don't think it's necessarily a bet. Oh, my cat finally gave a fuck and left.
See, that's why we were keeping you from talking.
Listen to you. I was watching the cat. That was crazy.
See, even my cat gets tired of my rants and walks off in the middle. I can't even make it through with him listening.
Ultimately, will you go watch this movie? Will you pay $10 for a movie ticket and fucking $15 for popcorn and a pop to go and sit for 2 hours and watch the new Fox version of Fantastic Four, in which you know that the leading female role was instructed to not do any research on their character?
It's going to be tough, but...
So no.
Yeah, probably.
Really?
No, I honestly probably will, because I want to see their attempt at doing it. I want to see how it turns out. And here's the other thing, though, and I know I'm going to get shit for this, but they're trying to build. They're seeing how well Marvel's doing with their shared universe and their cinematic universe, and Fox is trying to do the same thing with Fantastic Four and X-Men properties. So the stuff they're doing in Fantastic Four, what they're building up, is they're trying to create a shared universe. Yeah, and they're trying to create a shared universe between these new Fantastic Four characters and the X-Men characters. So there's going to be some crossovers. You're going to see them in both. And so, I mean, coming off of how strong Days of Future Past was, and, because I have a hard-on for the X-Men, ask any of you, I'm going to watch this Fantastic Four movie because it's going to be a part of the future X-Men universe.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll give you. You know what? I will give you some credit there. Days of Future Past was a very good movie. Probably my favorite of the X-Men movies. I liked it a lot. So when you put it like that, I could see that there might be a little, this could have a little more potential than initial face value, knee-jerk reaction to it. But okay, so
now we need to talk about Batskates.
Yes, you knew exactly where I was going.
Okay, I want to hear the
So
Batskate.
last week on the podcast, Brian, we were talking about I don't even know what we were talking about. We were talking about something, and I stumbled across a picture when I was looking up some news of like the worst comic book costumes in TV and film. And one of them was like a set photo, not a set photo, but like a studio photo of the Batman and Robin suits of Batgirl, Batman, and Robin, where they all had like the rubberized nipples and the silver and black and everything. And so we got to talking and stuff about how funny it would be if we could recreate to some degree the scene from Batman and Robin where Batman has the fucking ice skates in his boots and chases Mr. Freeze. So I posed the challenge to the group, and here's what's going to happen is Topher and myself are already coming up with some very early preliminary designs of how to actually make some boots where ice skates will pop out of the bottom when you hit a button on the old utility belt. So we're going to develop this, and if we can get this working, I am going to dress up in a Batman suit, and Pirate is going to dress up as Mr. Freeze, and we're going to go to a local ice rink, and we're going to film the whole thing. And
you know what, though?
Maybe we'll superimpose it on the fucking podcast, or we'll post it as a separate video. But yeah, we're going to do this.
This needs to happen.
No, what we really need to do though is we need to get Brian down here and dress up as Robin, because we could do a kickstart for this.
Yeah.
And to fit in the Disney princess theme, we're gonna blast the songs from Frozen while they skate.
Let it go.
Because we want to shit on as many copyrights as possible.
Copyrights don't mean shit to us.
So
does that mean Topher has to sit in the stands dressed as Professor X?
Yeah, we're gonna. Yeah, we'll shave the little bit of hair that he does have, and we'll put him in a wheelchair, and you can.
He has to have the blanket over his legs.
So Okay, so yeah, so what? Maybe we will do that, Pirate. I kind of like your idea. We'll put a Kickstarter. If this thing starts to look like it's really gonna happen, we'll put a Kickstarter together to fucking get a fucking plane ticket just to get Brian out here to beat Robin.
We all work. we all work full-time jobs, but we have to have a Kickstarter to get me down there.
Yeah, well, that's like some fucking asshole put a Kickstarter up to make.
Know how it works.
Some motherfucker put up a Kickstarter to make potato salad and made $50,000. Like, you don't need $50,000 to make potato salad. Or
but
a
he has
Kickstarter.
to send potato salad to 1,500 people, though.
But,
now.
Did you see his stretch goals? I mean, totally worth $50,000.
Brian, you can hear Brian typing. He's looking this shit up right now.
I'm going to Kickstarter, and I will start the Kickstarter right now.
Oh, God.
Do it.
This is fantastic. This is the birth of a dream right here.
Be sure you post a link to the Kickstart on the Facebook page and the website.
Yeah, definitely. That's.
Let's fucking just
Topher,
saturate the world
Topher,
with
we're gonna have to
this shit
seriously get after this design now. We're pulling the public in now for crowdfunding.
Especially since Brian's about to enter into a legally binding contract to provide a whole bunch of stuff to people.
Yeah, right.
Chris can't even get up all the MP3s on the website of our episodes. Let alone fucking bite down, lock down, and get some goddamn fucking boots with skates popping out the bottom.
God damn it.
It says I want to start a blank. I want to start a food. I want to start a food.
Oh God. All right. So while Brian is in the background working on our Kickstarter project for our epic reshoot of the fucking infamous scene from Batman and Robin where Batman and Robin chase after Mr. Freeze, also known to Pirate. Let's talk about how Joe Quesada of Marvel recently announced on, what was it, the Colbert Report?
No, it was, was it Conan or Kim?
Conan, I think it was Conan. On Conan, that Sam Wilson will be Captain America.
No, not Conan. It was Colbert.
Was it? It was Colbert. Yeah.
Colbert. Yeah, you're right.
So, Sam Wilson will be Captain America. We predicted this successfully last week. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. It was pretty obvious.
Yeah, I can't imagine, and I'm going to go back to you, Topher. Can you imagine a different scenario where this would have worked? I think that this is going to be good. You know, Pirate said that he has given up on Marvel. I think this is the one reason that's out there right now not to give up on Marvel. I'm not a Captain America reader, but I'm seriously considering picking up some of these books and reading how they make this work and seeing if it is really good. What do you think about it, Topher?
Yeah, you know, like we were saying last week when we were pretty sure at that point already that it was going to be Sam Wilson. You know, that it seems like a smart play. It's a good idea. It makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of moves when you can tell sometimes when comic companies try too hard to promote diversity, and you know they end up falling flat on their face, and it looks like a way too obvious attempt. You know, like it's the Thor is a woman thing is borderline. You know, we're all kind of wondering how that's going to work out. You know, DC tried to make Green Lantern gay, and then they backtracked and said, well, actually, it's a different Green Lantern from an alternate universe. And then, you know, so it's like every time they try and make some, you know, big shakeup where they try and, you know, have some sort of diversification away from the straight white male, you know, heroes everywhere, you know, like they either backtrack or they find a way to, you know, marginalize the character anyway, or you know, it just or it feels way too forced, and it's like this doesn't make sense. It doesn't fit with the comics, and there's reader backlash. But I mean, I think if you look at this one, if you asked most readers of Captain America and fans of comics in general, like, who would it make the most sense right now to replace Captain America
Sam Wilson's
if
gonna be the
you
answer.
needed to? I mean, that's gonna be a top candidate right there. I mean, arguments could be made for a few other people, but I don't think anyone would fault them for saying that Sam Wilson was the best choice.
I think they should make it Thor, since they're giving his spot away. That maybe they just fucking shift him over and.
So I think it's a great move. I think it accomplishes some meta goals outside of in the industry. I think it works. It fits really well in the comics. I think it'll be.
How long do you think it lasts? An
intriguing story.
I give it 6 months.
Well, like I said earlier about the whole thing with all the big three Avengers disappearing, I have a feeling that they're kind of putting them all out of commission for the time being, so that there can be a triumphant return right around the release of the next Avengers movie.
Get a little bump in sales.
A little bit of sales bump, and is the Avengers are coming back to theaters, they're coming back to comics too. Not necessarily a publicity stunt, just a way to promote, a cross promotion kind of thing.
Right.
So I'd be really surprised if it lasts longer than, till next spring, whenever Avengers is supposed to come out. I don't remember the exact date. I think it's sometime in May. So I would be surprised if it lasted any longer than that, but it probably right around there.
Okay. The next thing that I want to talk about, not to just gloss over that, but
wait, before you get there.
All right.
I just don't like how his outfit looks. He still has the wings. It looks kind of weird.
Yeah, but I mean, I kind of like that. If they really, they're going to have to obviously do some background for new readers and stuff on why he has wings and shit. But
no, I don't think it has to be a background at all. I mean, Captain America and the Falcon has been a thing. You've got Falcon in the Winter Soldier,
new readers,
the movie.
For new readers, people that might pick up this book, having never known, you have to assume, like Stanley
picked up this book for the first time, didn't know anything about Captain America, and didn't happen to watch the giant Captain America movie.
I'm just saying,
this year.
I think what Stanley used to always say still holds true, is that any comic book could be someone's very first comic book.
This is true.
Meaning that you need to make it, to some degree, make sense as to why. I mean, even if you're not into comics, Captain America as a white person with a shield that does not have wings. If you come in and that happens to be your first comic book, you might wonder, well, why the fuck is this dude black, and why does he have wings?
I mean, I'm sure they're going to explain it, they're not...
Right,
but,
that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, is that it would just take a little bit,
But I think he has to have the wings, though. I mean...
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Steve Rogers had a super soldier serum. He had the program. He was super strong. He was fast. He was physically augmented. It's not just the shield. It was everything else that went with it. Sam Wilson doesn't have that. His powers are the wings and the ability to fly and talk with birds, but we'll ignore that one for now. It's the wings and the flight. You take away his wings, and he doesn't have the power to fill a superhero role.
I seen in a commercial one time that wings offer more protection.
Okay.
So
So if you just drink a Red Bull during your time of the month, you should be fine.
My first question is, why are you fucking sitting around watching and quoting fucking MaxiPad commercials?
But you knew what it was. John never said what it was, so clearly you knew it too.
I didn't remember what it was. I just seen that it was something about wings offering more protection.
So anyway, the next topic, something that Pirate will finally feel like he wants to chime in about, I'm sure, and Topher will be the one sitting back and not talking. Coming
up, it Arrow time?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure when, but Flash and Arrow will be having a 2-hour crossover event on TV. Is that correct? Pirate, you know about this?
I no,
Brian
I
knows
found
about
out
it.
about it from Brian. Brian's the one
Brian,
that, yeah.
what do you got
Brian's
on
the one
this
that,
crossover Arrow and
There's
Flash?
no real big details on it. They just said that it's confirmed that this year that there'll be a 2-hour Flash Green Lantern crossover. Episode 8 of both
Not Green
shows,
Lantern.
Green Arrow. Episode 8 of both shows, Arrow and Flash, are going to be a 2-hour crossover event. In
So will it be
episode
the
4,
same? Will it be the same episode? You think on both? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
it says episodes 8 of both shows. So
it's like
when
combined.
both shows, yeah.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And then also in episode 4, it doesn't say episode of which. I guess episode 4, Flash Felicity is going to come to Flash.
Yeah, that's. I told you, Pirate, that I thought that was going to be for sure happening to some degree. That some of the characters from Arrow would be spilling over into Flash, and it makes sense, I think, to use like.
well, she's talked about like,
going to
like visit him and shit
Central
like
City,
that,
yeah,
and all
yeah.
when he was like in the coma.
What do you think about this 2-hour crossover? I mean, is that something you're
I think it's
excited
fucking
about, or?
Oh yeah,
I'm
I
so
love
excited.
I mean, both shows are awesome. I mean, they're going to be the fact that they're creating this world within multiple shows is I think is awesome, because when one show ends, especially since they're on different days, it's almost like you're going to get 2 shows in the same week.
Yeah,
like
that are
Flash,
almost closely
like
related.
you got Wednesdays Arrow, and then Flash is Tuesdays or something like that.
My only concern with it is that in the Flash, they're trying to use more of the super quote unquote superpowers type of stuff, whereas Arrow is sticking to more of the developed skills type of superheroes.
Well, since the particle accelerator exploded, it's not going to be like that.
Well, I know,
like,
yeah, but I'm saying like particle accelerator exploded, and like you're gonna have Captain Cold.
They're all
right?
metahumans now that are probably going to be in both shows, and they're going to blame it on the shit that happened in Central City with the particle accelerator.
So there's going to be metahumans in the Arrow now too.
Probably.
Okay, I feel like that is an important part of the puzzle that they really need to add to Arrow before the 2-hour crossover. Otherwise,
I mean,
it's
technically
gonna
they've already had metahumans. I mean, with the Mirakuru drug. I mean, look at Roy Harper and look at Slade Wilson, and then
but I mean,
Ravager.
I don't really see those as metahumans though, because it's not. I mean, it was drug induced, and there was a cure for it.
Metahuman.
Okay, fair enough. All right, fair enough. But there was never any cure for him either. There was never any like antidote. Like, this is how you get rid of his. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the reason why they're kind of like on the fence for me, is because it's like it's almost like a temporary thing, because they were injected with something and there was an antidote to reverse the effects of the original injection. For Captain America, it was, at least to this date, that I know of, there's never been anything.
Well, with the Flash show, there's going to be. I think this show is going to be a pivotal show with DC's staying power of. Well, I think it's going to be a test with DC's staying power of television shows, because throughout the ending of the Flash show, they're talking set up some really big shit.
Some big
like
stuff.
The first episode, like there's stuff that I don't know if anyone else has seen the leaked fucking copy of it, but there is some seriously big stuff that they are going to try to do, or they hint that's going to happen.
Yeah.
That I don't even know how they can do it through, not the show, like
what?
Portraying it and writing it. What do you mean?
Like, what are they trying to set up? Like, what are they hinting at?
basically an Infinity Crisis.
Really?
Yes. Like
I
it's.
mean, do you think it's
they-
going to be
they
full blown
show it.
Infinity Crisis, or do you think it's going to be like
I don't know. I mean,
some kind of like dumbed down, smaller?
from what they showed, I know, Brian, but
What up?
with the Flash TV show, I'm trying to like divulge the projection that I think that DC is going to have, but like with the ending of the Flash show, what they predicted, and like with the whole like they insinuated, DC is really going to have to like figure out, one, how to do it, and two,
It's going to be all like they're not going to be a Justice League. They're going to probably be Justice League of America, because you know how they're not crossing over the movie universe with the TV universe.
Right.
You have people like Katana coming in to Arrow, Ted Cord coming into Arrow possibly, which he'll end up being the Blue Beetle.
right.
In Flash, you already have Robbie Amell was cast as Firestorm.
Yeah,
So you have a Justice League of America.
yeah.
So-
that's true.
No, I was
That's
talking.
what we're
I was
gonna
referring
see.
to what they're. I was referring to like the projections of what they're going to have towards
Do you
the
think?
end
Yeah. Do you think
'Cause
that
at
they're
the
going
end
to be
of Flash,
leading
they
into
said that-
Infinity Crisis?
with the whole Infinity Crisis thing.
Oh, I have no idea. I mean, I hate how if they do that. If they don't do it, I hate how they tease stuff like that and just don't get to it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, because it was big. It was like there like the scene talks about Queen and Wayne Tech merger. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
that little the
Yeah.
blurb on the that's not gonna happen.
Yeah, there's no way legally like
Yeah.
that can happen with movie rights.
Yeah.
But they put that in there, and you know what I mean? Like that's like, wow, what the fuck? So they've insinuated a Batman of sorts in this new TV show
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen.
world universe
Yeah.
that they're working on building.
Well, I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see. Topher, I hope you're enjoying Savage Hulk #2. Looks like you're
pretty
reading it
good.
there. It's really good. I like
Pretty
it a lot. Secondly, we're getting close to wrapping things up for the week here. Holef and Brian, do we have a Kickstarter?
Almost. I'm almost done with it. As soon as I'm done with it, it will be up on Facebook.
Okay, we will have this on Facebook. We will have this on our website at some point. We'll have a link in our forums. We'll put it on Twitter. We're doing this. So yeah,
Let's do it.
we're gonna make the bat skates. We'll probably end up having to do this without like the bat symbol on the chest and stuff like that for copyright reasons.
We'll have the
but
comic book incarnation symbol
yeah,
on it.
yeah, we'll make it enjoyable one way or the other. It'll be funny
And
as hell.
If the skates don't work, we'll do something else.
No, we'll get the skates to work, and if they don't, I'll try to skate on them, and then you can watch me break my leg.
Well, I hope you guys can skate.
I can ice skate. I don't know about pirate. You're the one. You gotta
I only
skate
got-
too,
dude.
Brian.
I only got one foot that works right.
I can skate a little bit. I might fall on my face.
Well, then I'm
but
not gonna
that'll
have a hard
be- but
time catching pirate because he only
That'll
has
be-
one. He's only got one good leg.
But pirate, you have to do like a spin move, and Doug has to catch you and lift you in the air.
Fuck that.
Oh, Sochet, or whatever the fuck.
Clearly, you don't know how big we are.
Triple axle.
That shit ain't happening.
It doesn't matter. It's
We got-
all for the greater good.
Between the two of us, we might have a combined one good knee.
There's-
I don't. I
Plus,
don't-
that's a lot of dudes sliding around.
That's a lot of dudes sliding around on ice. I'm just saying.
Or
So-
as Pirate calls it, Saturday.
What kind of
Saturday.
before we go, Brian, I'm curious. I want to tell the listeners, the avid listeners that are sticking with us till the end of the episode every week, which I can say we do have some. We do have some really avid followers that have been following us and listening to the whole damn podcast every time, and I love it. What kind of incentives are we offering for donations? Don't be offering no fucking hand jobs or nothing, all right? I'm not trying to give out.
An incentive for doing the Kickstarter?
Yeah. Because you know how it's like,
Well-
donate $1 and you get this. Donate $5 and you get this and this.
Oh, I didn't really set that up yet. I only put one that if you
He
donate a lot of
He
money,
didn't agree to give anything back.
if you donate a lot of money, I will send you your choice of trade paperback.
Oh, really? Like, so you gotta donate like fucking $500 to.
So you're gonna get somebody to drop a fucking.
Come on, I'm
drop a bill,
still
they're gonna
working
get a
on
$10
this.
comic.
I'm
All right,
working
so
on
we'll
it.
set up some kind of incentives at lower dollar amounts.
What kind of incentive? You know, how much more can you
Maybe
get?
like
I mean,
8 by
the
10.
best.
It's gotta be something they
they'll
just
be
can't
getting
go
the
get.
best.
For like $10.
They'll be getting the best incentive. Seeing you two chase each other around on skates.
So,
But like an 8 by 10 photo of us, like
Yeah,
all
like,
dressed up, like
for like
you as
10
Robin,
bucks,
him
for
as
like
Batman,
10
his
bucks, we
Screws.
could do like for $10 we could do like, you know, we'll thank you on one of the podcasts, and for like $20, we'll email you a fucking digital photograph of the group of us dressed up in the costumes.
We gotta
and shit.
send them. We gotta send them one that's
Yeah,
signed.
we can even make a
Yeah,
short
we can
film
make it-
out
yeah,
of it,
yeah.
like, you know, a little 5-minute clip.
Yeah,
it
we can
and,
make
you know,
them.
send
We can
it out.
make them a video of it, of the whole fucking like a making
it.
of. We'll
They get
discuss
it.
offline, but yeah, we'll come up with some good and different incentives and stuff that we can offer to our fans that
Fuck, what-
decide to donate.
That's something they can add too. Like, hey, what would be a good incentive? Let's ask the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. If you're still listening at this point, you're obviously a true fan because we're an hour plus into this podcast. If you want to see this, let us know. Post it on our Facebook. Send me a message on YouTube. Send us a message on Facebook, on Twitter, our forums. Leave a comment in the section below, in the comment section of this video, and if you're on YouTube, and let us know like what would be a good incentive, and maybe we'll try and make that shit happen. Who knows?
Topher dressing up as your favorite DC character.
Oh, Topher could be a Disney princess.
Oh,
Oh!
the first female Thor cosplay.
Oh, Topher could be. Yeah, you could be an early onset Thor female cosplay.
You're acting like I already do that in my spare time.
Perfect. He's already got the shit. All right, guys, we're definitely out of time this week. We'll see you guys next week, Wednesday, 12 p.m. noon on New Comic Book Day. I'm Fox 2. We got Pirate,
See you guys.
Topher.
I liked your Stan Lee quote earlier about pretend like every comic's the first one you read, because every time I read a DC comic, I still feel like I'm lost, even with a reboot.
Yeah. And the whole motherfucking Brian.
Yeah.
Check out Kickstarter, bitches. See ya.